what is this I'm hearing about Sony possibly doing a cross play with their own exclusives, and everybody is going to just be merging themselves and feeling on each other in the gaming industry, touching and all this other stuff. There's a whole big orgy. Let me explain. So I think his name is Jim Jim Ryan, I believe. He was appointed to the president of SIE, which is the whole gaming sector of Sony. So what he's doing now is he's going to be overseeing, you know, the whole that whole sector. And what's funny about this whole situation is that I'm just there's a lot of shit swirling around. There's a ton of shit swirling around that is just way out of pocket. People are thinking that he's the new Don Mattrick, which is Microsoft X or Xbox X leader at the start of this generation, and how he's going to make, you know, the gaming sector completely non-profitable, and he's just going to drop everything that it was before. I mean, you know, all their history and legacy, and you know, they're going to shorten up development or cut development, or what is it? Cut the thank Josh. I'm so like lit right now. I'm just so pissed. They were saying that they were going to cut IPs being made, you know what I mean, next generation, and exchange for something that's a longer development time and things like that, and how he wants to share and how he wants to have all the games everywhere, and you know what I mean. And you know, he mentioned something like a DVD player, how he wants his service, or the PlayStation service, to be played anywhere, just like you can play a DVD anywhere. And there's just a shit ton of misconception. And I started to kind of like analyze what he was saying. I didn't read that whole interview, because fuck that. That's not gonna happen. I may read it on my spare time, I ain't gonna lie to you, but I got the gist of what was going on. I've been in a couple of podcasts, so I'm like, I kind of understand where it's going. There's been a lot of concern. This is like legitimate concern, because Sony basically, and I hate to say it, I'm going to sound like a straight fanboy for saying it, but Sony has kept this gaming industry very fresh and interesting with the IPs that they released. The Horizon Zero Dawns, the Death Stranding, the Spider-Mans. You know, they kept E3 fresh with, you know, just hit after hit. You know, Ghost of Tsushima. It was just a lot of things that they just kept it interesting. And now they're talking about we want to spread everywhere. I don't have the direct quote. You guys can figure that shit out. I'm not going to find it. The reason why I'm not going to, invest too much into it is because it's redundant. That's basically the gist of it. But how do I feel about that? I've mentioned in two of the podcasts that I've been into. That's the Roundtable podcast and the PlayStation Plus podcast. I believe that's what it's called. Let me see here. They're gonna whoop my ass if I don't get this shit right. Oh gosh, let me see. Let me get this shit straight. Yeah, I was right. Okay, so the PlayStation podcast. So shout out to Sick Humor. He basically was like, well, shout out to Thrash, King Thrash, which is from the Roundtable podcast, and Sick Humor. King Thrash proposed that what he meant by opening doors and, being in the same, having all the doors converging into the same room is crossplay. But then Sick Humor mentions, he says, well, if it's crossplay, why did he say about having their services being played anywhere? And he likened it to a DVD, and you have multiple DVDs. Now, Thrash also mentions that it is possible that you can put the PlayStation, PlayStation Now anywhere. And that there's possible, an arrangement with Microsoft placing it onto the Xbox, so that people from Xbox can get a taste of first party exclusives. You know what I mean? They'll get it much later, but they'll still get it, and they won't get it in its purest form. But Sick Humor was like, it sounds like they're trying to do like a third party situation. That's what it sounds like they're trying to do. I want to say, by taking both of these point of views, that I don't know if it's both or neither. My take on it is that they're talking about the future, like way into the future. That's my take. Maybe in the next 10, 15 years, that's what they're probably going to do. Which, I don't know. I don't know how this is going to be positioned, because ultimately, I work for a cable industry, and I see what's going on with the cable industry. You have your Netflix, you have your Hulu, you have your HBO Go, you have your ID Go. Everyone wants a subscription service, and you don't get the bang for your buck if you're paying like $10 per service. Whereas if you have a cable company, you're paying like for 100 and let's say 200 channels, for like $80 versus, you only want, let's just say you want sports. That's going to be definitely like $25 to $30, and you want ID, which is investigation discovery, and then that's going to be like $10, and HBO Go, and that's going to be $15, and then fucking Hulu and Netflix, and that's $10. Well, that's probably $13 each, respectively. And it's like, how many services are you guys willing to pay and look at your bank account be drained by all these different like roads of drainage here? How that's going to be a messy ass bank statement, and it's overpriced, all because of this supposed freedom. You know what I mean? We don't know exactly what's going to happen, and I guess when he said what he said, we were talking about Jim Ryan. I think he's stating that that's how the industry is going to go for gaming as well. You already have Epic Games trying to create their own platform, and they're trying to sell that shit on a computer, independent from Steam and Microsoft. You have Uplay, you have EA Access, you know what I'm saying? And it's looking like that right now. And royalties are going to get gummed up and muddied up because of this shit. I think they have to pay Sony and Microsoft 30% for having their games on that store. You know what I'm saying? And now they got their own store, and they want to put that store on Xbox and Xbox and PlayStation. That way, I guess they can circumvent. I guess they still have to pay for it, essentially. I guess the whole app, I don't know how it works legally. But it seems like, me describing it seems messy as it is. And it's just like, Jesus, like, everybody wants this choice and everybody wants this freedom, and ultimately you're getting screwed in the ass because of it. You are. Just look at it. It doesn't look good. It doesn't seem like a logical step. On one side, you know what I mean? Like, there's a monopoly, so to speak, with each, platform holder or whatever like that. I feel like if you're not making the console, if you don't have the hardware, then you shouldn't have your own shit. And the argument is with other people is like, oh, well, I want to carry my games anywhere I want. True, just like Epic Games, but think about how Epic Games is running that shit. You're going to have exclusive games on their service, and in order for you to play it, you're going to have to buy their service. Which means that you may not want to play, you may just want to play Fortnite. That's probably it, but you don't want anything else. Or you may just want to fuck with Assassin's Creed. Now you gotta buy all this shit together. And then there's an incentive and just things like that. It just seems like a shitty idea, to be honest with you. Just seems very shitty. Because And you got all these stores to work with all this different UI, and it just seems stupid, you know, just for the sake of this supposed freedom. And I have to deal with this shit every day when I go to work. You know, customers that are completely ill-informed about how this business is working and who's creating these prices. All it will do is jack up prices because they want to have two revenue streams: their own service, but at the same time they want to be placed on that platform service as well, which drives up the prices altogether. So what's going to happen in the future? Either we're going to have all these things, and then on top of it, the biggest issue here that I can see, I'm thinking about everybody is going to, I mean, let's fast forward 10 years, 15 years into the future, right? And I'm thinking about basically, it's possible that Sony is just going to be a PlayStation, or Sony's going to have their own service where you can only buy their first party games through PlayStation Network that you can put anywhere. Now the question is, if that's the case, is the game or the game's going to be downloadable on that particular platform? Is it going to be like the PlayStation hardware is going to be exclusive to that? You know what I'm saying? And not exclusive, but like it's going to be best played in that regard. But you can still play it in a lesser form. That's not, you know, the PlayStation. That's not. Oh gosh, that's not PlayStation Now. You can do it locally, and it's not streaming. It's just. Oh my gosh. But it seems like that's one of the ways that it's trying to go. It's trying to go in that avenue, that they want their services to be everywhere. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, and I can see why, because that's what the future is looking at. That's why when Jim said what he said, I didn't really buy it really happening in the light of, you know, they're doing like third party. I mean, they're going third party. I think that they're gonna have, it's gonna be like Netflix and their exclusive content like Bird Box and shit like that, and possibly, you know, all these next generation consoles are really just gonna be a box with a controller, and you can just move your shit. You know what I mean? You know, between games. It just seems like, ooh man. It's gonna be rough. It's gonna be rough. It's gonna be rough, man. I mean, it's not gonna be good. I mean, but it's a natural progression. I really do think that everyone's gonna have the same fucking box, with the exclusion of Nintendo. They're going to be doing their own thing because they exited the hardware industry. Like, I mean, the hardware, they're not competing with their hardware at all. So I have a question for you guys, right? What do you guys think about EA Access and Epic, quote unquote, Pass and Uplay and all those services, and being able to transfer your games between services? You know what I'm saying? What do you think about that? What do you think about, like, if you do log into their, like, have your own login and username? Because don't forget, that's how PlayStation and Xbox is doing their shit. They create this profile for you, which is part of the reason why you're paying for the online. So instead of having different profiles everywhere you go, that is the profile there. But let's say that you log on to Uplay and create your own profile, and Epic, whatever they have for Epic Games, and you'll be able to transfer that over. Like, how do you feel about that? How do you feel about that? You know, and just the future of having different things like that. You know what I mean? Different services that you can do on your own, or you know, you can have to buy these services to have exclusive rights to their particular exclusive games for that platform. But anyway, let me know in the comments what you think about the video. Let me know what you dislike about it or like about it. And if you liked it, a sub would be appreciated.